Hi friends, and welcome back to MV Stories. Today we'll look at a few Reddit stories, and if you like them, you can like, comment, and turn on notifications so you don't miss new videos. Today's story comes from the amiwrong subreddit. It was posted by Throwaway24 and was titled, "My friend told me she loves me 4 weeks before her marriage. My 35 male friend Bree, 35 female, just told me she loves me 4 weeks before our marriage, and I am not sure what I am supposed to do here. I want to know if I'm doing the right thing. To give some context, I lost my wife 2 years ago. I have a 5-year-old daughter. I have not dated in the last 2 years because I have major trauma from losing my wife. I still love her a lot and don't think I am ready to move on. I invested all my time in my daughter, who looks exactly like her mother, and my work to keep my sanity for the last 2 years. I have been friends with Bree since we were in elementary school. We lived in the same neighborhood growing up and were best friends. She is an awesome person, and we were inseparable growing up. The weirdest part was we had completely different personalities. She was very outgoing and always had a lot of friends. I'm a big introvert, and Bree, along with a few friends, was all I needed. Bree was a serial dater, and I don't remember any time since middle school since she was single. Bree and I never dated, though. Bree and I also went to the same college. She never had a stable boyfriend, but just jumped from one relationship to another. I, on the other hand, did not date seriously until I was in my junior year. When I met my wife, she was a freshman, and we hit it off instantly. We fell for each other and spent all our time with each other. This strained my relationship with Bree, as I would generally hang out with my wife instead of her. That was the time Bree and I slowly started drifting apart. After college, I moved to a different town for my job, and Bree and I occasionally messaged each other, but nothing beyond that. Bree attended my wedding, and that was the last time I saw her. We kept in touch, but mostly by commenting on each other's pictures or keeping each other updated on significant life events. Bree did reach out to me when my wife passed away, and we talked on a phone call. Last year, Bree and her fiancé moved to my city. I was still grieving, and both have been amazing support for me and my daughter. My daughter loves dancing, and Bree helped me enroll her in dancing and gymnastics classes and sometimes takes her to them. I also became good friends with her fiancé, who is indeed an incredibly good man. My daughter also loves Auntie Bree, and Bree sometimes helps me babysit. Last week, Bree came to my house and asked if we could talk. Her tone sounded serious. She told me that over the last few months, she feels like she has started to develop feelings for me and is not sure anymore if she wants to go ahead with the wedding. She felt I also had started developing feelings for her. I told her that I'm not ready for any relationship before I can deal with my mental health, for which I go to a therapist regularly. She tried to convince me that she loved me. We are soulmates, and she felt that we were meant to be together. However, I do not have the same feelings for her. I love her as a friend, but nothing beyond that. We were both emotional, but she said she was glad we talked about this. She left after that. Bree called me that night and told me not to talk about our conversation to anyone. I thought a lot about it and decided that I would not tell her fiancé about B and my conversation from last week. I feel it's their relationship, and I do not have the right to ruin their moment if Bree decides to go ahead with the wedding. However, I feel guilty that her fiancé does not know anything about this and is going into a marriage where Bree might not be fully ready for it. Can you guys give suggestions on what I should do in this case? Am I wrong for not telling her fiancé about our conversation? Update 1. A month ago, I, 35 male, wrote a post regarding my friend Bree, 35 female, telling me that she loved me, only 4 weeks before her wedding. The last month has been crazy, and my whole world is turned upside down. Again, for context, I lost my wife 2 years ago, and we have a 5-year-old daughter. Bree and her fiancé Jason, 33 male, moved to our town a year ago, and we have reconnected as friends, and they have done a lot to cheer me up during this year and bring my life to normalcy. After Bree told me that she loved me, I told her that I was still not ready to move on as I still miss my wife. She said she understood, and I did not hear from her or Jason for a few days. The guilt was killing me, as I was not sure if I should tell Jason about what she told me. Thanks to everyone who commented on the post. It helped me think the situation through. I finally called Bree after a few days and asked her to meet me for lunch. I talked to her and asked her if she was going ahead with her wedding. She broke down and told me she was not sure. I told her that she should at least talk to Jason regarding her feelings and not be dishonest with him. I also assured her that I would not say anything to Jay, but I just wanted her to be happy. She said she understood and left. That night, I put my daughter to sleep and was watching TV. Around 9:30 p.m., I heard a loud knock on my door, and it was Jason. I opened the door, and he was in tears. He started yelling at me and asking me why I had to steal Bree out of all the people. I tried to calm him down, but he just kept on shouting. I was trying to get him to sit down on the bench on our porch. I told him my daughter was sleeping upstairs, but he slowly was getting more and more physical. He punched me in the face, and I was able to push him off. I told him to get out of my house, and he sat in his truck and drove away. I immediately called Bree, and she was crying and did not sound well on the phone. She told Jason that she could not marry him because she had feelings for me. I was really scared for her after the physical altercation with Jason and told her to gather some clothes and get out of the house. She did that and came to my place. I just didn't feel she was safe with Jason. I consoled her for almost 2 hours and was able to get her to sleep. The next morning, we had to call her parents to let them know about what had happened. Bree kept a brave face, but I could see how much she was hurting. Her parents asked her to take a few days off and immediately come back home, and she did take a flight in the evening to go home. Over the next 2 weeks, the wedding was called off. Bree and I were talking every day, and she was just very exhausted. She talked to Jason a few times and kept on asking her to take more time to think. However, I think Bree just wanted to get out of it and decided to just break it off with Jason. Currently, Bree is staying with us for the last 2 weeks. She still has a job here and started going back to work last week. I have talked to Bree in detail about what happened. Bree told me that Jason and her were dating on and off for the last 4 years. Jason is not very career-oriented, and Bree is very good at her job. She felt he was a nice and reliable person, but was unsure about him from the start. She felt that she was not getting any younger, and hence they decided to get married. When she heard about my wife passing away, she just felt really bad and wanted to be around me to comfort me. When she got her big promotion, which meant she could work in a corporate office, she immediately chose my city and moved here. Jason also moved here and got a new job. She never had any romantic feelings for me back then. As she started hanging out with my daughter and me, she started feeling the bond we shared when we were growing up. Except, I was the broken one and she was taking care of me. She said that she realized that she was enjoying her time with us more than with Jason. She realized she made a mistake with Jason, and what she wanted was right in front of her. Hence, she slowly started thinking about me in that way and finally told me about it. She knew her relationship with Jason was over the moment she confessed to me. It's a shitty situation, but I am glad that she realized that before getting married versus after. As for Jason, I feel bad for him. He is moving back to our hometown closer to his family. He is currently in their apartment and will move sometime next month. I know a lot of you would be curious if we were dating. We are not dating. I don't think I can date anyone right now, and neither should Bree. She is my friend, and I am happy that she is staying with us and plans to be here until everything is sorted out. My daughter loves having Annie Bree around too, so that's a bonus. Plus, it's really nice to see her slowly get back to normal. Thanks again for helping me during my last post. Additional information from Opie. Opie says, one of the comments from the original post from user mid40smom3 really stuck out to me when I was trying to decide if I want to tell Jason myself about what Bree told me. Following is the comment. I would not share your conversation. I'd also find a way to pull away from spending any time with her that also does not tear her out of your daughter's life. Not that she is or ever will replace your dear wife and your daughter's mother, because that is impossible. But your daughter at a young age had already lost her mom, and I'd hate to see her traumatized by having another woman in her life abruptly leave. My daughter really loves having her around, and I also do not want her to lose Bree. I have thought about the pros and cons, and I feel I am happy she is staying with us at this point. Update 2. I wrote a post 9 months ago about my friend Bree telling me that she loved me a few weeks before she was supposed to get married. For context, I lost my wife 3 years ago, and we have a 6-year-old daughter. Bree and her fiancé, Jason, moved to our town a year ago, and Bree confessed her feelings for me just weeks before her wedding. Things went south quickly, and Bree ended up breaking up with Jason and canceling the wedding. She was staying with us when I last shared an update. I think the story was picked up by some popular YouTube channels, and people have been messaging me to find out what happened afterward. I wanted to maintain our privacy, especially since many of our family members saw the video and recognized my post. They didn't know that Jason had assaulted me, and I had to assure everyone that we were safe and okay. I'm feeling particularly happy this week, so I thought I would share an update. Firstly, the reason Bree moved in with us while Jason was still in town was because I had a temporary restraining order, TRO, against him. Bree also filed for one, but was denied, as he had never directly threatened her safety. She said she felt secure with us because of the TRO, and I agreed. Jason didn't cause any issues after that, though he continued texting Bree, asking her to work on their relationship. Eventually, he moved back to our hometown in February, and we haven't heard from him since. Bree got her own apartment once Jason left town, but she remained very much a part of our daily lives. I enjoyed having her around, and my daughter loves her. In April, Bree brought up the idea of us dating again. I explained that I wasn't over my wife's death and didn't want to be unfair to her because I still love my late wife deeply. Bree told me she knew she could never replace my wife, nor did she want to. She shared a beautiful analogy. She said my heart is like a big pot. It holds a lot of love for my late wife, but it also made room for more love when my daughter was born. Loving her wouldn't erase my love for my wife or daughter. It would simply mean there's more room in my heart than I realized. I took a month to think it over, talking to my mom and mother-in-law, late wife's mom, who both encouraged me to give a relationship with Bree a chance. We officially started dating in May, and it's been surprising how quickly we fell in love. I think the strong foundation of our friendship helped a lot. The last 6 months have been amazing, and I've never seen my daughter so happy. She's a big chatterbox now and insists that Bree comes to all her school events and recitals. Sometimes I feel a little jealous of their bond and even a bit left out of their little chats. The reason I'm writing this update is because I'm planning to propose to Bree this Christmas. It's not a surprise proposal. We went engagement ring shopping last weekend and finalized the ring. We also have wedding plans for next summer. I know it seems quick, but I can't imagine spending the rest of my life with anyone else. Bree deserves to officially be part of our family. My daughter is thrilled, and she and Bree are already shopping for dresses for the engagement photo shoot. Our families couldn't be happier, and we plan to get engaged at a small gathering of family and friends over Christmas weekend in our hometown. I know some people judged me for taking Bree in after she left Jason, and others judged her for leaving him at the altar. Life isn't easy, trust me, and things don't always go as planned. But I'm grateful Bree found the courage to tell me how she felt back then. Thank you all again for your support on my last post. Relevant comments. Commenter 1 says, "Thanks for the update. Glad things worked out and wish you both a great future." Hope replied, "Thanks. We are excited for the next chapter." Commenter 2 says, "Wait, so why didn't she end her relationship before ever sharing with you that she had feelings for you?" Opie replied, "It was such a crazy time for weeks before the wedding. I know the right thing should have been the right thing to do. However, I'm also glad she did not go through with the wedding when her heart was not at the right place. I feel bad for Jason too, but I think it's better for him it happened, instead of learning about it after getting married. I did initially blame myself for all the pain that I caused Bree. I know she would have been married, happily, to Jason if I did not exist, but through therapy, I have learned to let go of the guilt. It was something I could not control." Commenter 3 says, "So you explained to her that you were still grieving your wife, and she gave you some stupid analogy to pressure you into dating her. She sounds desperate and dumb, and not a good influence for your child. I feel bad for your daughter. I seriously doubt your wife would approve of this for her. Commenter 4 says, her analogy was pure manipulation, and you are too stupid or too horny to see it. It's been less than a year. Good luck, dear horny man. You're going to need it. Your wife would be ashamed of the damage you're going to end up doing to your daughter in all this. You let a manipulative woman con her way into your bed and home. Update 3. It's been 9 months since my last update. I wrote my first post almost 2 years ago, which seems crazy now, and I could have never imagined how things would turn out. Many of you messaged me for an update, so I am writing a short update instead of replying to all the messages, as you guys have really been helpful through all this time. Thanks to this YouTube channel, who created this beautiful short film based on our story. Although I am not as handsome in real life. Bree and I got engaged last December. I know that my love for my late wife would never go away, but I felt it was the right thing to do for Bree and also for my daughter. I proposed to Bree at our old high school ground where we would often hang out when we were younger. There was a lot of drama that unfolded after our engagement. Jason had already moved back and told everyone made-up stories about how Bree cheated on him and ruined his life, and how I played the victim after he kicked my ass, his words. I lost a lot of old friends in this process, but some of our friends were willing to give us the benefit of doubt. Luckily, our families know me well enough to know that I would not have an affair with Bree before she broke off her engagement. I think the news of our engagement did not sit well with Jason. Things got ugly when Jason tried to break into Bree's house to talk to her, but luckily me and her brother were there and called the cops. He still thinks we were sleeping together before Bree broke off her engagement. I know a lot of you guys warned me that Bree was planning on being with me the entire time and moved to my town specifically to be with me. I talked to her about this, and we had discussions about what exactly happened. She told me that marrying Jason never felt right, and maybe she just subconsciously wanted to be around me because I had always been honest about guys she dated in the past. Let's say she had a type growing up, and she just wanted me to tell her to not marry Jason. However, she told me that she only started developing feelings for me after she met me. I also do not agree with the theory that she moved to my town to be with me, as we had not met each other in person for many years prior, and it would be crazy to make such a big change in her life just on a whim. Our relationship is far from perfect, but something that works for both of us. Bree lost her job after we got engaged and helped me look after our daughter during the last few months. My daughter loves her too, and they have a great bond. I have a good job, so Bree decided to take a break for wedding planning and looking after her daughter full-time. I'm glad for her decision, as my daughter will get to have a parent in-house full-time, something I was not able to provide to her because of my work. On to the good news. We got married around a month ago, and as many of you had predicted, Bree did not run away, and we had a wonderful ceremony. I wanted a small wedding, but Bree and her parents wanted to invite a bunch of people, and we ended up having a really nice wedding. Right now, we just came back from our honeymoon and are getting ready for my daughter's school year. I know many of you misunderstand Bree, but she has been nothing but a blessing in my life. I thank God every day for sending her into our life, as she has made our life beautiful. My opinion. Honestly, I have mixed feelings about this one. I don't think Bree handled everything perfectly. Confessing love 4 weeks before her wedding put everyone in a painful situation, especially Jason, who clearly got hurt badly. But at the same time, it was still better than marrying someone while her heart wasn't fully in it. What Jason did after that, especially getting physical and later trying to break in, was completely wrong. As for Opie, I don't think he stole anyone. He was grieving, trying to protect his daughter, and taking things slowly at first. I do think moving Bree into the family so fast was risky, especially with a child involved, but if they truly built something healthy and honest, then I hope it works out for all of them. The second story is from 2X Chromosomes subreddit. It was posted by CloudySide7 and was titled, "My Dad Ate My Birthday Cake." I've been seeing a lot of videos online about how men will weaponize food and how it's seen as acceptable for men to eat up a lot of food, even if it means other people won't get any of it. That same situation happens a lot with my dad, but I guess I had assumed that since it was my birthday, I'd get some of my birthday cake. This happened about 2 weeks ago, but I'm still pissed off and really upset about it. I made a birthday cake for my birthday, which was 2 weeks ago. I had one slice of my cake the day of my birthday. Within 2 to 3 days, the cake was gone. My dad ate almost the entire cake and left the empty container in the fridge. I had told him several times to slow down and even bluntly to stop eating it because he was going back for multiple slices a day. It was also in the fridge and later freezer, so it would have go bad. I was pretty upset about it and tried to complain about it to my mom, but she yelled at me that I was a bad person for tempting him and that it was rude abs cruel of me to leave food in the fridge and not expect people to eat it. I never said he couldn't have cake. I just wanted to have my birthday cake. I don't know what exactly it is I'm feeling about this whole thing. Sadness and rage, I guess. I feel like I should be over it, but I keep getting reminded that I only got one small slice of my birthday cake before a grown man ate the entire rest of it. And it was a really good cake, too. Sigh. I know I could just make another cake, but I'm still upset that I'll never get back at being my birthday cake. Does that even make sense? I guess it's also the concept that I told him to stop, and he still ate the cake. Also that he left the empty container in the fridge. Also was a fairly big cake. It's not something that should have been gone in 2 to 3 days, consider it's just me and my parents. Guess I'm just venting, but also wondering why is it acceptable for men to do this to their families, but women are the bad guys for getting upset about it? Why is that it's okay for a man to eat almost his daughter's entire birthday cake, but she's the rude one for being upset about it? ETA, the reason I didn't eat cake in those 2 to 3 days is because I was constantly out of the house and doing stuff. I want to get a piece on the evening of the 3rd day and saw the empty container in the fridge. The pieces I had put in the freezer were gone when I checked as well. There was none left. I didn't think I needed to force myself to eat the cake those days because I kept seeing the container in the fridge. ETA 2. To everyone saying cake goes bad after 2 to 3 days, the cake was in a container in the fridge. That makes it last longer, and a simple Google search will tell you that generally speaking cakes can last 5 to 7 days if stored properly. It was literally in a cake container, the kind they sell to keep cakes fresh longer. ETA 3. I know I literally said it was a bit of a trend to see these stories posted around, but I'm actually still shocked about how many people have either a very similar or the exact same situation happen to them. And I will say, I know it's not all men. I have a primarily male friend group, so I definitely know that majority of men are not like this. I was more so saying that this specific mentality only seems to be present in men and that I never see women doing this. It's not all men, but it always seems to be a man. Relevant comments. OP on the birthday tradition and cake. Commenter 1 says, my dad loved ice cream cake. I loathed ice cream cake. OP replied, honestly, my entire birthday was just this. I wanted a chocolate pistachio cake. He didn't. I ended up getting a vanilla cake, which he wanted. I didn't want any ice cream this year, and he complained, then went out and bought himself an entire tub of sherbet so he could have ice cream since I didn't get any for him. In my family, the birthday person picks a place to eat on their birthday. I wanted Indian food. My dad hates Indian food, so that was out. I wanted Middle Eastern food as my second pick. He didn't, so that was now out. Eventually, I said, let's go to Cheesecake Factory, which he agreed to, but then complained about the whole time. In my family, birthday person also picks a movie, and the family is supposed to all go see it. I picked Backrooms. He didn't want to see it, and since I refused to budge, he said he didn't want to come along, so I ended up seeing it by myself. Commenter 2 says, it's also a bit telling of your parents' attitude toward you that you had to bake your own birthday cake. Opie replied, I had just wanted to buy a cake already made, but both of them threw a stink about it. My dad threw a fit because he didn't like the kind of cake I originally wanted, and my mom threw a fit because she doesn't like how store-bought cake tastes. So I just changed the flavor and made it myself to try and keep the peace. Commenter 3 says, the putting back the empty container baffles me. How old are your parents? As a mom, I'd never eat all of something before checking if everyone else had their share. I know my husband does the same. It's very upsetting when you're looking forward to food and later find that you can't have it because someone else ate it or even threw it away without asking you first. You're not just upset about the cake, but the inconsiderateness of all of it. Don't feel bad for not getting over it, because it's not just about the cake, but the idea that your dad didn't even think about your feelings when he ate all of it, knowing he had multiple slices and proceeded to take the last one and leave the container for you to find. I'm so sorry. I hope he has the decency to buy you a new one, or take you out to get a special slice at a nice bakery. Please know that you deserve to be treated with consideration, and I hope you have people in your life that will do that for you, even if they are people you haven't met yet, but will be part of your life in the future. Ope replied, how old are your parents? Both are elder Gen X, born in the early 1970s. Your dad didn't even think about your feelings when he ate all of it, knowing he had multiple slices and proceeded to take the last one and leave the container for you to find. He left a bunch of frosting in the container, so I was literally digging through it to see if there was any actual cake left, and he yelled at me for that. I hope he has the decency to buy you a new one, or take you out to get a special slice at a nice bakery. They won't. Neither of my parents will, because they both say I'm being a greedy brat for being upset about this. Commenter 4 says, sounds like you need your own fridge with a padlock. I had the same issue as my dad, because men don't fucking think, they just go by their base emotions. In this case, I see food, I eat food. I talked to my dad and raised a stink, and he stopped. If yours won't, then a mini fridge is a good option. Opie replied, I asked for a mini fridge, but my parents said no, sadly. I'm only here for the summer since I go to college the rest of the year. I've tried to talk to him about this. I've been polite, I've been firm, hell, I've actually been mean about it just to try and get my point across, but he always screams at me and then gets my mom to lecture me about making a big deal out of nothing and tempting him with food. Opie on her father and her birthday cake. Opie says he actually didn't even bother to show up for when I did blow out my candles. Didn't want to sing happy birthday or watch me blow out my candles, but could show up to eat my entire cake. Commenter 5 says, I'm sorry. He didn't like the kind of cake you wanted on your birthday. I don't know if this is intentionally rage baiting us at this point, because your parents are both behaving like total assholes. Big yikes also that your dad either has 1. Binge eating disorder, 2. Zero self-control of his most basic impulses, or 3. Zero respect or consideration for you. Possibly more than one of those. Personally, I think you should bake another cake and tell them loudly and specifically not to eat it, as it's your replacement birthday cake, and spike it with surprise ghost chilies. Opie replied, I fully believe he is bad because he hoards fast food wrappers. It's not the first time he's stolen food from me. I got a box of protein bars for Christmas. It was a box of 12, and he ate them all and left the empty box in the pantry, then screamed at me for being upset about it and asking him to replace them. I used to go to Crumble Cookies more often, and he would eat the cookies I bought with my own money. When I was still in school and buying snacks to bring with my lunch, he would eat the entire pack. My mom likes to make large portions of food so we can live off leftovers for the week, and he eats it all in a day or two. Opie on getting a job to support herself. Opie says, they won't let me get a job while I'm under their roof. I have no savings, no friends that could take me in, no way to get money since I have no car and need their permission to leave the house in the town we live in. Did Opie get to celebrate her birthday away from her parents? OOP says, I got to go out with my friends, and there's a boy I like who wished me happy birthday. So that was nice. I got to see a movie the following weekend, so that was also nice. Ope's background. Opie says, white, deep South America. Commenter 6 says, your mom blamed you, too, for tempting him? If I were you, I'd literally make the most fattening / sugary, calorie-dense cake I could find a recipe for and keep it stocked in the fridge for the rest of the summer. Sorry if that's too petty, but I treat myself for my birthday too, so I get it. Opie replied. Her exact words were, you just like to be mean and cruel. You leave food in the fridge that he likes and just expect him to not have any of it knowing he likes it. And then you throw a temper tantrum after tempting him with it. Commenter 7 says, let me guess. He doesn't ever cook or bake a damn thing. Ope replied, correct. When he does cook, he makes it how he likes, which for him means no seasonings at all, because according to him it ruins food, and then yells at us if we don't like it or complain. Update. So hello. I'm the girl who posted a few days ago about how my dad ate almost all of my birthday cake while I only got one slice. Things between me and my dad are still not really on good terms. He had to flip out on me the night of my post because he, the man who never cooks, was hovering over me while I was cooking and trying to micromanage everything I was doing. He was constantly opening the oven after I put stuff in there and repositioning it, lecturing me about what seasonings I was using, asking me repeatedly if I was sure I knew what I was doing. I hate when people hover over me when I'm doing stuff, so this really bothered me. I calmly told him I didn't need help and that I could do it myself. He then went on a rant about he was trying to educate and help me, and if he wasn't wanted then he would just leave. I repeated that I didn't need any help, and he proceeded to take the pot holders I was using and make a show of throwing them across the room before he stormed off. I told my mom, and she just sighed and said that I probably caught a tone with him even though I didn't. I admit that I can sometimes catch an attitude. I'm 19, I think I get a bit of a pass, lol. But I swear that this time when talking with him I was calm and level-headed. I made a point of that when I was telling him I could handle the cooking. So yeah, dad is still a giant toddler, and mom is still an enabler. Anyways, back to the actually good news and point of this post. Day of my post, I ended up borrowing the car later in the day and buying myself the cake I originally wanted for my birthday. It was a Walmart/market-side cake, so nothing special or expensive. It was small, so it's all been eaten by now, lol, but oh my god, it was amazing. My mom didn't really care for it, because it was store-bought and my dad outright refused to touch it. He complained about the flavor of the cake and also said he wasn't going to set me off by eating it. My mom did unfortunately make me go bring him a slice and apologize for making him feel that way, which my dad thought was hilarious. He ate the cake despite complaining about it. Go figure. So yeah, while this update isn't things getting better with either of my parents, especially not my dad, I did end up taking the suggestion of a lot of people and just went out and bought the cake I originally wanted. ETA, I also saw that my post was reposted on TikTok, so that was quite the surprise to be doom scrolling and then hear a Reddit story time of my own post. Relevant comments. Commenter 1 says, "It's really sad that your mother just accepts this kind of bullshit from him and thinks you should too. Does she not want men to treat you right? You don't need to keep contact with these people after you move out if it's not adding anything to your life." There's a subreddit, Raised by Narcissists. I found it helpful when I left my shitty parents. My dad was an unemployed food thief as well. Oop replied, "Does she not want men to treat you right?" I hate the pull that it's just how things are in my family card, but there's a lot of mean and toxic men in my family. My whole family is a bunch of addicts or untreated mentally illness, and nobody talks about it outside of though we're all crazy haha joke. There was an incident where my mom set me up with a guy we dated for over a year, and he dumped me for not sleeping with him, and my mom was on his side at first and wanted us to get back together. She eventually came around on my side, but it still hurt. Commenter 2 says, "I'm so mad for you that you have to put up with this fucking bullshit. You deserve better than this. I'm glad you bought your own cake to make yourself happy, but holy shit, everything else in your post made me livid." Opie replied, "Yeah, I think I was just used to it during my teens years, then I moved out for college, and it's making everything affect me a lot more. It's like I got desensitized from my desensitization." Commenter 2 says, "So you said you're 19. Are you, hopefully, at your parents' house just for the summer?" Opie replied, "Yep, just summers and the winter break when school makes us go back. Probably going to spend Thanksgiving, Easter, and Mardi Gras break at school." Commenter 3 says, "Good for you. It's also good that you are clear on who your parents are. You can just observe your dad throwing his tantrum and your mom adjusting his pacifier and keep a blank face. Save every dime you make in an account they can't touch and plot your escape. Living alone someday is going to be glorious." Opie replied, "I can't wait to live on my own one day. I also can't wait to one day have my own kids and have them grow up in a house with parents that act like adults." My opinion. For me, the cake is almost the smallest part of this story. What really gets me is that she tried to make one day feel like hers, and even that got taken over by her dad's wants. He didn't want the cake she wanted, didn't want the food she wanted, didn't want the movie she wanted, but somehow he still had no problem eating most of her birthday cake. That's just sad. I can be fair and say maybe he has a real food control problem, but that doesn't make it okay, and it definitely doesn't excuse her mom blaming her for tempting him. She wasn't being greedy. She just wanted to enjoy her own birthday cake. That is such a small, basic thing to ask for.